Welcome to this Pokemon card binder video. I've seen several binder collection videos on YouTube, and despite Jirachi being a very popular Pokemon, I haven't seen another Jirachi collection video, so I'm really looking forward to be able to share this one. This is actually my wife's collection. Jirachi is of course her favourite Pokemon, and her goal is to one day own every card in both English and Japanese, as well as the reverse holos and some of the promotional reprints such as the Play logo stamped cards. In total this comes to somewhere around 80 cards as of making this video, though a complete collection would probably be closer to 90 cards if you were to include all of the World Championship proxy reprints as well. I'm going to be talking a bit about all the cards that are in here, as well as touching on the ones that are still missing. At the end of the video I'm also going to be mentioning a very special card that we only recently learned about, and it's one other Jirachi collectors might also never have heard of, so stick around to discover what the rarest and most expensive Jirachi card is. That's enough preamble, let's crack open this binder. This is of course not a Pokemon card, but it definitely felt like it belonged in here. This playing card comes from a deck of cards sold at the Pokémon Center in Japan for a limited time back in 2016. We actually bought this deck of cards in Japan ourselves when we were on holiday. Now let's start. Every card on these two pages is a Japanese exclusive promo card. This first card was sold in July of 2003 and was included in a half deck that was released to commemorate the screening of the 6th Pokemon movie in Japan. It's very cute, nice holographic, and is only like the 3rd Jirachi card ever released. Next we have a play promo that was given out in 2004 to those who subscribed to the Players Club. The Players Club was like an official Pokemon fan club and hosted events such as tournaments, similar to the Pokemon League internationally. Underneath we have the two Pokepark Jirachi cards, the only two non-holographic promos on this page. These were given out in March of 2005 to people who rode the Pokemon Star Swing at the Pokepark, which was a travelling theme park in Japan and later in Taiwan. Something interesting about this card is that the illustrator is unknown. The reason being is that there's this large logo printed directly on top of where the illustrator name is. On to the next page. This card here is another play promo given to subscribers of the Players Club, although this was printed and distributed much later in 2006. Then we have 7 Nights Jirachi. This was released in 2007 and exists to commemorate the 10th Pokemon movie release in Japan. In total there were 12 different promo cards made, each featuring a key Pokemon from the previous 9 films and one from the new film. So Jirachi was one of the 12 Pokemon selected to be part of the set. Now we have a much more modern card, a Sun and Moon promo from August 2017. If you purchase 5 booster packs from the Pokemon Center in Tohoku, you would be given this card as a gift while stocks last. Next page. Alright, so this card here is the 2nd ever English Jirachi card, and it's the first non-promo Jirachi in English. It was released as part of the EX Team Magma vs Team Aqua expansion in March of 2004. Now the Japanese card featuring this artwork is an interesting one. It was released as a promo in participating 7-Eleven stores from the 25th of June 2003 until stocks lasted. In order to get this card you had to visit one of the participating stores and purchase a bottle of Coca-Cola or Sprite, something like that, and you would be given one of 21 different promo cards. Jirachi was one of those cards, obviously, and it was marketed as the secret card of the set. This here is Jirachi EX, and again it is from a regular expansion called EX Crystal Guardians. The Japanese card featuring this artwork is exactly the same story, though in Japan the expansion was called Miracle Crystal. Up here is the regular holo and reverse holo Jirachi from the EX Hidden Legends expansion. These came out in 2004, not long after the Jirachi on the opposite page. The Japanese card featuring this artwork was not actually part of a regular expansion, but released only in a half deck that was sold in January 2004. The English version of this card is still very cheap to pick up, but the Japanese one is much more expensive. On to the next page. Up here we have the regular holo and reverse holo Jirachi from the expansion EX Deoxys, released in February 2005. Reverse holos in this set were very different. They featured this little stamp with the set logo, and you can also see that Jirachi's name is written in gold. The Japanese card featuring this artwork was also released as part of a regular expansion, but it was printed a whole year earlier in January of 2004. The next Jirachi was the very first Jirachi you could get in English, and it was packaged with DVD copies of Jirachi Wishmaker, making it a Black Star promo. Over in Japan though, this card was instead made available as an insert with the June 2003 issue of CoroCoro. One interesting fact about this card in Japanese is that the front of the card is glossy due to the way it was manufactured. Now this card also has an interesting fact about it. This card is the only card featuring artwork of Jirachi that was released internationally but was never released in Japan. It's from a regular expansion called Call of Legends that came out in 2011. And yeah, Japan just never saw this artwork. These pages feature just two different artworks. The first card isn't even a holographic, it's just a regular rare, and we of course have the reverse holo as well. Then the second card is a holographic rare, and it's got a beautiful little swirl on it, and of course we've got the reverse holo again. These cards were released in 2008 and 2009, and the Japanese versions as well were in regular sets, though they were obviously released a little earlier. So these pages finally have the first full art, but we'll get to that one in a second. First up we have these two, the rare holo and the reverse holo. This is the Jirachi from Unleashed, which is one of the earlier Heart Gold Soul Silver expansions from 2010. That particular expansion had no Japanese equivalent, but you could still get this card in Japanese as part of a pre-built deck kit in 2009. Here is our second Jirachi EX, and this one is from 2013 from a set called Plasma Blast. So we're now actually getting into the black and white era of cards. The full art underneath is from the same set, and both of these cards had Japanese equivalents that came out a few months earlier. For the longest time this was my favourite card in the collection. I love the texture, the shine, and Jirachi just looks pretty cool here. Okay, so now we're actually looking at a card from the XY era. Another super cute one, looks quite nice as both the holo and reverse holo. This was released in 2015 as part of the Roaring Skies expansion, and yes, it also came out in Japan as part of a regular expansion as well. This card is very cheap if you want to start collecting Jirachi but you don't want to spend much money. Even the reverse holo in near mint is worth less than £2, so you could pick up these two easily. Now over here is the Jirachi from Pokémon in Japan, and the Generations Radiant Collection Jirachi, which is the international version. Both these cards we pulled ourselves from boosters. We actually bought a whole booster box of Pokémon in Japan, and we now own the complete set, and we're slowly working on a Generations Master set as well. Hands down, Japan won when it came to this card. This version looks so much nicer. Although the English one has some holographic patterns across it, the Japanese one is coated in these colourful holographic stars and spots, and has the nice glittery border. Both these cards were released around the same time in 2016. Alright, now this full art right here, this card as you can see we don't yet have in English. When we purchased this card, an English version of this artwork didn't yet exist, so my wife grabbed the Japanese version. Now this is a promo card, and in Japan it was only available at participating Pokemon centres and Pokemon stores. My wife paid £12.50 for this card, that's just how much it cost at the time. And fast forward 8 years to today, the card is now worth over £200. Like right now, even the cheapest one on Card Market is £214, and the seller even mentions it has some small dents, whereas this one here is in mint condition. So my tip to collectors would be to consider purchasing promo cards that have very limited or niche distributions shortly after they release, so you don't have to empty your bank account in the future. A lot of promo cards don't rocket up in value like this one has, so paying attention to how it's obtained and for how long it's going to be available is key in deciding on whether you need to get it early. Another promo from the XY era, this Jirachi was released in 2017 as part of a blister pack. This card's artwork is actually featured on two Japanese cards, both released 2 years earlier in 2015. One of them included in an expansion called The Best of XY, and the other was awarded to people who participated in Pokemon card gym tournaments between May and July. The one given out to tournament participants features a stamp with the Pokemon card gym logo on it, so eventually my wife will be trying to get each of them. This full art is very pretty, and once again it's an XY promo. It came in a Mythical Pokemon collection box, the Jirachi box being released in April 2016. Throughout the year there was a whole load of Mythical collection boxes, each with a promo card of a different Mythical Pokémon, a matching badge, and a couple of booster packs. These were considered highly collectible back when they released, though if you now wanted to collect just the promos from these boxes, they are really not that expensive, thankfully. The Japanese equivalent of this card was not a promo, it was part of a miniature set, similar to Pokémon, called Mythical and Legendary Dream Shine Collection, which is a mouthful. It's the one Jirachi card we own that is not in this binder, instead it is with the rest of the expansion, as we have a complete set in a different binder. The next card is also from the Mythical and Legendary Dream Shine collection. This one we do have a double of, so it sits in this binder and with our complete set. Once again in English, it was a promo card from a later Mythical Pokemon collection box. The artwork on this card is done by Ken Sugimori, the original Pokemon illustrator. Probably the most empty page so far, we have Shining Jirachi from the Shining Legends expansion of the Sun and Moon era. This card was released in 2017, both in Japanese and internationally. Shining Legends, as the name implies, featured shiny Pokemon. The holo and the texture on this card make it look really pretty in person, and the artwork is pretty cute too. It's nice to see Jirachi get a card featuring its shiny colours, and it's actually happened twice now. The other one is just a bit deeper into this binder. This is Jirachi V in Japanese. It's from a set released in 2022, and the English version was a promo, another we don't have yet. This one here is Jirachi from Celestial Storm, another Sun and Moon expansion, this time from 2018. There's only one version of this card in English, but it actually came out twice in Japan, though I think the only variation between those cards is just the set symbol and the number in the corner. It's a really nice card actually. Jirachi from 2019, we have the non-holo version here that came included in a Battle Arena deck. We're actually going to end up having 4 copies of this card's artwork. There is a holographic version of this card from the Sun and Moon expansion Team Up, and its reverse holo version, this one here. Then there is the Japanese version from the expansion Dark Order, which was released around the end of 2018. It's not rare at all, this card, but the artwork is quite nice. Now Jirachi GX. This card was released in 2019 at the tail end of Sun and Moon era in an expansion called Unified Minds. The Japanese equivalent was also part of a regular expansion. Underneath we have Jirachi from Vivid Voltage, the first Sword and Shield era card in this binder. The colours are gorgeous, and it's got that really sparkly holo foil in the colour splash there, and on like the energy symbols. It's a really nice card. On this page we have what I think is my favourite card in the collection. Like the previous black and white era full art, I love the texture on this card, but the colours here are more vibrant. Plus Jirachi looks very cute. It was released only in a collection box in November 2020. Now the Japanese version of this card came out much earlier in October of 2019 as part of a regular expansion, and not only that, as you can see there's also a rainbow coloured variant secret rare here from that same set. Down over here is Jirachi V, also from a regular expansion from the Sword and Shield era. In fact, I don't think there's any more promos in this binder. Both the Japanese and the English versions came out in 2022, and there's no other variations of this card. It's a really nice looking card, and it's not very expensive to collect. These 2 spots up here are for the Team Up Jirachi from 2019, which is a promo card in both English and in Japanese. Hopefully we'll get them one day. Second to last pages now, and here's that other shiny Jirachi I mentioned. Radiant Jirachi from Silver Tempest, the Sword and Shield expansion. Another very cheap card despite it looking really nice in my opinion. As well as there being a Japanese version of this card, there is another English one as well, released as a promo with the play stamp on it. The stamped one that we're missing was released like a whole year after the normal version here. This one released in November 2022 and the play promo in August 23. Speaking of play promos, this next Jirachi also has a similar variant with a stamp on it that we don't have yet. This Jirachi is from Scarlet and Violet era, and as you can see we have both the English version and its reverse holo variant and the Japanese. This artwork is very cute, and the regular versions of this card cost literal pennies. This is the final page, regular and reverse Jirachi from Scarlet and Violet's Stellar Crown expansion, released in September 24. Still missing from the binder is the Japanese version, which is exclusive to a beginner deck kit. And that's all there is for now. So going through this binder, I've either shown you or talked to you about every single Jirachi Pokemon card released in both English and Japanese, with the exception of 2 very special cards. Whether or not you consider these cards to be Jirachi cards is up to you though. First up is the Player's Ceremony card. This card was awarded to exceptional players participating in the Championship Series in 2018 and 2019. There is a small Jirachi in the upper left corner. That's niche, I know, but that's not as niche as this next card. This card is really going to be the grail of any Jirachi collection, and it's the card I alluded to at the beginning of the video, and that is the Pokemon Pal City card. There were 7 different prints of this card, given to participants of a summer-long tournament tour in Japan in 2007. The Tohoku print, the one featuring Jirachi, happens to be the rarest and most valuable of those different cards. On the English-speaking internet, I could only find it graded, but searching the Japanese-speaking side of the internet, I was able to find people selling the card loose, though they were still asking for an insane amount of money for a piece of cardboard. If you collect Jirachi cards and you have to have them all, and you didn't know about this card, then I'm sorry for making you aware. Thank you for watching this video. I'd love to hear about your own Pokemon card collections, whether they be single species like this or just otherwise. How long have you been collecting, and what do you think of this binder? I may make future videos about other complete sets we own, or other single species collections that we're working on. I suppose that depends on if anyone actually watches this video or not. Thanks again for watching, and take care.